For the last 4 years, the Democrats spent every waking moment telling us that Donald Trump's election was the worst thing to ever happen in this country, that he was a liar and a racist, and he was ripping apart the moral fabric of this country, if there ever was one. Okay, sure, but now that Joe Biden is in office, all of those awful policies are apparently not so bad after all. Take, for example, the Trump administration's policy of separating children from their parents and locking them up in these detention camps. It was a disgusting policy, especially when you consider that most of these migrants were coming from Honduras, a country ruled by a narco-trafficking dictator who, you guessed it, is funded by the United States. A lot of people, understandably, felt like no child, or their parents for that matter, should be locked up for seeking refugee status. But Democrats hopped on the bandwagon, and overnight they became the champion of immigrant rights and condemned the camps in the harshest words. Some people even compared the camps to Auschwitz. So it was pretty mind-boggling to hear that the Biden administration was reopening one of these Trump-era camps. Oh, what's that? You're saying they're not child detention camps? Oh, well, what are they?
This is a facility that was opened that's going to follow the same standards as other HHS facilities.
Okay, well, you changed the name. That's a start. And the little banner says bienvenidos. That's so thoughtful. Okay, well, how about the $15 minimum wage? I mean, that'd make a huge difference for tens of millions of minimum wage workers who basically haven't gotten a raise since 2009. This was a huge part of your campaign, and you even said how easy it would be to pass this right after you got elected.
It includes much more, like an increase in the minimum wage to at least $15 an hour. People tell me that's going to be hard to pass. Florida just passed it. As divided as that state is, they just passed it.
So you're gonna pass it, right? Okay, well, at least tell us you can get us these $2,000 stimulus checks. Even Trump was able to get us $1,800, even though it took him 9 months. But you guys control the House, Senate, and the White House now. And you said that this was the only thing preventing these checks from going out.
By electing John and the Reverend, you can make an immediate difference in your own lives, because their election will put an end to the block in Washington on that $2,000 stimulus check. That money that will go out the door immediately.
There was $600 payments, as you know, in the $900 billion package that passed in December. This is $1,400. Together, that's $2,000.
Oh, you gotta be f***ing kidding me. In all seriousness, I think this is an important lesson. Politicians and pundits told us that if Donald Trump got reelected, the sky would come crashing down and it would be the end of the world. But it's only been a month into the new administration, and Biden is already supporting all of the same policies that we hated Trump for. Biden picked up exactly where Trump left off on bombing Iraq, Syria, and Somalia. He's doubling down on Trump's hawkish Iran and China policies. He's also backing Trump's ridiculous move to relocate the US Embassy to Israel to Jerusalem, which isn't even the capital of Israel, it's the capital of Palestine. Not to mention, the Biden administration has already deported almost 30,000 people. He's also backing away from any and all progressive change, even though the Democrats control both the executive and legislative branches. But let's not be surprised, because this is far from the first time a politician has broken campaign promises. Politicians will promise people whatever gets them votes, and because there's no law legally binding them to these promises, they can break them as soon as they take office. And they don't break promises because they didn't hear us or because we just didn't advocate hard enough. They break promises because they don't actually represent us. They represent their donors. Think about it. If you call your senator and urge them to vote against an upcoming vote to go to war, and then a weapons manufacturer who's donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the same senator asks the senator to vote in favor of war, who's the senator gonna listen to? Well, not you, of course. You're not paying to keep him in office. So it doesn't matter what a politician promised or how charismatic they were when they said it. Biden isn't listening to us. Just look at what he's already done. He even said in a private meeting with rich donors that nothing would fundamentally change about the wealth distribution in this country under his administration. And if this is what he's saying in private, we'd be smart to believe him. We don't have time to wait for him to come around, and he never will. The only way we're gonna radically change society is by building powerful organizations among ourselves. When the Texas power grid went down last week and millions of people lost heat and running water, it wasn't the Biden administration that stepped in and saved everyone. It was mutual aid groups that distributed food and water and clothes to people. As long as we keep clinging to this illusion that the politicians will listen to us if we just plead with them hard enough, we're gonna keep making the same mistakes over and over again.